Memoir of a Snail is out in theaters. It is an adult stop motion animated movie. It's a tragic comedy in many ways, and I was excited to go see it because I love animation of all kinds, and especially stop motion animation. So if you love Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas, and this does kind of have the vibe of those movies where it gets a little bit creepy at times. There's certain, like, it is very much an adult movie. There's things that happen throughout this movie that definitely kind of shock you and, in a way, almost come out of nowhere. Yeah, as I'm watching this, this movie's 90 minutes. By the time you get to the end, where it takes you as far as its narrative is so heartwarming, and you just can't help but be in awe of how it managed to tell its story in all the ways, and even just some of the lewd and the crude kind of elements of the movie that you'd seen up until that point. They all had a purpose in all of this. So it's a very interesting movie in that way, but I give it a lot of credit for being so bold and unrelenting, because in anyone else's hands, I could see them shying away from certain elements and cutting certain things, being scared to, do we try this? This really, really went for it. And as far as the plot, just to kind of orient you at least a little bit, so it follows this character of Grace, who is born with a twin, and very early on they're separated. So they both end up in the orphanage, but get adopted by two different families in Australia. And so this kind of tracks, it's a very sort of coming of age story, but also like a mini biopic, into the middle age of this character of Grace. And it's called Memoir of a Snail because snails are very significant in her life. She has kept snails throughout her whole life, and they've been a constant. So that's hence why Memoir of a Snail. But yeah, it's kind of, you get to see all these various phases of her life, from childhood to teenage years to early adulthood to adulthood, and all these things, and the cast of characters that come in and out of her life, some good, some bad, and how she's dealt with all these things throughout the whole way. And as I said, it all weaves together in a very magical, beautiful way, that you just have to trust that it knows where it's going, even if at times you see certain things like I did, and I was like, whoa, this seems out of left field. But really wonderfully done. Kudos to everyone. It's like I said, I love stop motion animation, so for me it worked really well. If that's something that you enjoy, and again, more on the adult side, take like Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas, and just kind of push the boundary a little bit, then you've got this movie. So if that sounds of interest, check it out and let me know what you think.